man.
Attempt? No, that is it. And there goes Norbert with the fatality.
Oh! The champion has
been eliminated.
knocked.
We're going to see a new champion. Oh, Aiden Cordova is moving on.
Aiden moves on. What a
He's eliminated Norbert Vale.
And we have just begun.
Oh, and a nice head kick. Is Jenner gonna move on?
Yes,
and
he
he
is.
does!
Yes, he is.
Brandon
with the win.
Brandon! What?
He knocked out the champ. That's
What?
wow.
For Mortal Kombat's very own Rich Divizio!
Undisputed Blood Wars Championship.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, and look at that
combat.
slamming. That's literally.
The 60-hit comp.
But because of the fact that you eliminated Michelle in the Tekken 3 tournament, I have to avenge her L. So guess what? Don't take this ass kicking personally.
Sleeping on it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, he's not
Oh, and
sleeping
he doesn't!
on it. Yep, not
Steven
he's
Lucas
definitely not
is
sleeping on
moving
it.
on!
Gotta give it up to Michelle, though. For real.
Steven!
I give it.
It is all over!
The return
Norbert
of
Vale
Norbert Vale,
is your
the
two-time
champion!
Bloody Wars champion!
Bloody Wars Nation! This is JP Pitts, your host of the Bloody Wars Tournament, and welcome to another episode of the Bloodcast. And today, boy oh boy, we got ourselves a show today. But before we begin into the show, this Bloodcast episode is brought to you by the FFC. If you're a huge Packers fan, Chiefs fan, or even a Swiftie, this program is not for you. But if you're a flag football fan looking to showcase your skills, look no further, ladies and gentlemen. Sign up on May 19th. May 19th, ladies and gentlemen. Register for the first ever FFC season on May 19th. You can go at www.flagfootballchampionships.net. Wrong website, ladies and gentlemen. It is 100% free to get in, so don't wait and get ready to hit the field in style. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on to some exciting news. We are proud to announce that the next Bloody Wars tournament that's coming up has reached over, if I could pull this up, has reached over 20 participants. That's right, folks. This is going to be a showdown on June 23rd. Huge shout out to all the regulars from Logan's, Interium, and even Round 1. We're thrilled to have you on board. And a massive thanks to everyone spreading a word about the tournament. Cannot wait for that tournament, man. I keep thinking about it every single day. Speaking of that tournament, let's talk about the numbers on your calendar, shall we? June 23rd at 4 p.m. That's when the Bloody Wars tournament commences. We're bringing the heat with Super Dragon Ball Z. So head over to your PS2, sharpen those skills, and get ready to battle it out for the glory. And don't forget, folks, the pre-show starts at 1, where we'll be dropping some major announcements and the new undisputed Bloody Wars Championship belt reveal. Get ready to feast your eyes on Cash Money Prize, Funko Pops, and even an Akira Toriyama sketch of Goku himself. Oh, and let's not forget the piece that fits the glory puzzle the prestigious Bloody Wars Interim Championship belts. And like I said, folks, whoever wins that championship belt, well, we'll get to a little bit more of that in a minute. Last week, let's recap on last week. Last week on Thursday, Steven Lucas had an incredible interview with Aiden Cordova and DSP, my Bloody Wars contenders. During DSP's solo interview, he confidently claimed he could destroy anybody at a particular game. So, to test that theory, I jumped into the stream and made a big announcement. To those that didn't tune into that stream, after our current Super Dragon Ball Z event that's coming up on June, the next Bloody Wars game after Super Dragon Ball Z will be once again Power Stone, folks. After Super Dragon Ball Z, head over to www.bloody-wars-tournament.com and sign up to that tournament, and the date will be to be announced after the Super Dragon Ball Z event. Now, people are asking me, people have been asking me, is JP ever going to participate? Well, it wouldn't be fair to the competition, right? It wouldn't be. That's all I got to say to that. But what do you all think? Let us know in the comments down below. But like I said before, we got everything going with Power Stone and then Super Dragon Ball Z. But another thing to note down, folks, in between those events, we have the first ever undisputed Bloody Wars Championship head-to-head battle against GGA Shady. That's right, folks. Whoever wins the interim championship in Dragon Ball will earn a guaranteed match against GGA Shady for the undisputed Bloody Wars Championship. The stakes have never been higher. And to get things kicking off to the podcast, let us introduce to you guys. Well, first, let's recap. Let's recap on last week's Bloodcast. That's right, folks. Last week's Bloodcast was episode number 3, featured an awesome guest named Damian Cordova, one of our experienced contenders, if you ask me. We had some exciting topics, from risking a YouTube ban and moving the Rumble by drinking wine on stream, to great conversations about his experience as a contender and involving his family in the tournament. If you missed it, you can catch the replay on our YouTube channel. And as you guys can see, this is the prestigious gift that Damien gave me. So huge thanks to Damien Cordova and his family. I'm going to do this again for everyone. Cheers. Yeah. But now it is time for our main event. Oh, this is going to be a great one. This man is from the Galloping Ghost Arcade. He's putting his name out to huge tournaments. Everyone in the Chicagoland area loves the Mortal Kombat series, especially for the reigning, defending, undisputed Bloody Wars champion of the world, GGA Shady. Shady, what's going on?
What's up, Josh? Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you for being here. This is pretty huge, if you ask me. And I know people are going to tune into this, and when they see you, you're like one of the big stars of GGA. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Can't complain. It's been pretty decent, if you ask me. But you're here now, so thank you for tuning in and thank you for being here. So I want to like take back into the early stage of GGA, and you know, you were there for a very long time. You're like one of the main FGC players everyone needs to look out for. So, but well, I'll get to that in a little bit. But to start things off, you know, how did you end up in Galloping Ghosts? Like, what made you be here in the first place?
So do you mean like what brought me to the arcade as a patron, or like what brought me to the working in the company, or what brought me to the team?
Working in the company.
Working in the company. All right. Well, I was going to the arcade as a customer for a long time. I was
Right.
going to the tournaments. They were having MKX tournaments on a weekly basis. And during that time, you know, I got closer with a lot of the guys, you know, became friends with a lot of them. And then over time, I think either right when Injustice 2 came out. Yes, it was shortly after Injustice 2's release. There was a spot open at the gym. A lot of the guys there vouched that I would be a good pick. And I think the gym opened either 2017 or 2018. And now here we are.
Did you remember the turnout for that tournament? And what was your ranked?
At GBS, like for MKX. We were getting probably the most people during MKX. I couldn't remember a number. Probably had around 20 people or so every week until, you know, it dwindled eventually.
Yeah, that sounds like a legitimate tournament, and it sounds like an awesome one for sure. And you said it was Injustice, correct?
When I first started going to the arcade, it was MKX,
Mm-hmm.
and then which is Mortal Kombat X. And then by the time I started working there, Injustice 2 was out, and that was the game we were playing.
Oh, I see. So you were getting yourself familiar with the DC characters, and you're getting yourself familiar with another realm. I see. What was your main from that game, if you don't mind me asking?
Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Batman all the way.
Oh, you're a Batman guy from Gotham.
Of course.
One of my characters is the Flash. Love the Flash. I've been using Sub-Zero every now and then, but if there was a main, Flash would be my go-to.
For sure. So you played it?
I have played it. I'm all right at the game. I'm trying to get myself familiar with it a little bit, but
For sure. Maybe there'll be a new one soon.
Injustice 3?
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. So going back into the NetherRealm stage, obviously Mortal Kombat is definitely the huge game for that company. I want to get to like the early days of Mortal Kombat. Because obviously you've heard about it, you're familiar with it clearly. But what started to spark your interest in Mortal Kombat?
Are you talking about back in the day, or like when MK?
Yeah,
are you talking about during MK1 and 2 or MK9?
What was your first Mortal Kombat game that you played?
Oh, dude, it was probably 3 on like Super Nintendo or something. I played them all growing up. MK is older than I am, so you know those already 3 or 4 releases by the time I was born. But
so the midway
that's
thing.
my first one. I played them all up until this one.
For sure. Out of all of them in the series, which one would you say it's the best one that you've played? Because I've new MK1 is just starting to come out more. So I don't know if that would be your best game yet, but if there was a game from the series that you had to pick that was your favorite, which one would it be?
So I was actually just thinking about this recently. I think my personal favorite, and there is some bias because a game you do well in, it tends to be a game you like more. My personal favorite MK is probably MK11. It has my favorite characters. That's the game I did my best in. But
The Joker.
Yeah, the Joker, Spawn.
I remember.
The best MK, though, is probably MK9 with the way it brought the series back. It had every character you could care about, amazing gameplay, amazing content. It was the start of the competitive scene for the game. MK9 is probably the best.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I know people are like lurking with questions because you're the champion, and during my channel, people have been talking about you for a while, and people think that like you're invisible when it comes to MK. But I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad that you mentioned MK9 because I don't know who would have won that battle, but if we were to see you versus Waffles in the game, who would win?
In MK9?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know the truth, Waffles in MK9, Waffles legitimately is one of the best in the world. I would put money up that he's top 5 in the world at that game at the moment. Granted, like I didn't even know how to properly play fighting games yet when Tommy was the best smoke in that game. If I was around then and playing then, possible things would have been different. But no, Tom Waffles is no joke in MK9, the best smoke in the world, top 5 player in the world.
Sounds like, wow. I mean, it sounds like I got to do more research. Maybe if I can, maybe talk to him about that. Who knows? I mean, it sounds like yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, getting back into that, I know that the Mortal Kombat series is huge now. You're obviously the champion because of that for Bloody Wars. But now you've got Combo Breaker ahead of you. Combo Breaker weekend coming up. Mortal Kombat tournaments. You're definitely signing up to new MK1, no doubt about it. But Street Fighter 6, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that?
What's up with me playing it, or
yeah, how's that been going for you?
I think it's going pretty good. I haven't done too many tournaments recently for it, but I've been doing really good online and preparing for Combo Breaker. The character I want to play comes out 2 days before Combo Breaker, which is Akuma, and I'm beyond excited.
I've heard some stuff about Akuma. What would be? Are you gonna main that character first off?
I think over time, because I think Street Fighter 6 will be around for a good four or 5 more years. I think in the long run I'll be an Akuma main, but I'm not sure what I want to do for Combo Breaker. I don't have him in my hands yet. I don't know if I will feel Combo Breaker ready with him in 2 days. We'll see. If not, I'll just play Ken. It's no big deal.
So then, you did mention this before, where you're gonna do MK1 and Street Fighter 6 tournaments, and you've been talking about that for a while. But I don't know if you mentioned this during Combo Breaker or if it was a different tournament. There was a specific tournament that you were talking about that you had to do both games in one event. Or how's that
at the same time?
Yeah, how's that gonna work?
I usually play multiple games, competitively at a time, 2, 3 max, and it's usually MK and Street Fighter. But it depends on the time. There was a point where I was playing Injustice and Dragon Ball Fighters, but usually it's MK and Street Fighter. At this tournament, I believe it was Naptown Clutch. I was playing Injustice and Street Fighter at the time, and I show up to the event. I get my pools the day before the tournament, and I look, and my Street Fighter and Injustice pools were at the exact same time in 2 different rooms, mind you, not even the same room, literally different rooms. So
that's insane.
I didn't know. It was the day before the tournament. I didn't know what to do. I got to the tournament. I found the guy running it. Talked to him. He's in the shout out to Vandy, by the way. One of my favorite TOs. He retired recently, but will always be one of my favorite TOs. And things happen, and especially because it was him, I was like, "Don't worry, Vandy. I'll do it. It's not a big deal." But I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, I have Injustice and Street Fighter at the exact same time," and I show it to him, and he's like, "Oh!" And before he even gives me an answer, I was like, "If I have to, I could do both at the same time." And he was like, "You can?" It's like, "Yeah, I can." So I was literally running from. I would play a match in Injustice, run to the other room, play Street Fighter, run back, play Injustice, back and forth. It was a good fun. It was a good time.
Would you have if you were to see that? You had to play 2 fighting games at the same time. Would you have done that again?
I mean, if I have to, I have to. It is what it is. If I'm at somewhere like Combo Breaker or Evo, especially Evo, I flew out there, paid all this money. Mm-hmm. You best believe I'm gonna play in my brackets. But if it's a situation where what could happen is you did get them at separate times, and let's say you're playing Mortal Kombat earlier and you made it really far. Now it's like, hey, you're an MK top 24, but your Street Fighter pool starts at the same time. Well, I could try to do both, but I'm an MK top 24. I should probably prioritize that. Not try to, that's getting it real close to the top 8 or whatever. So it all depends on situation, but in most cases, yeah, I'm always down for the challenge.
For sure. And then you mentioned the name Evo, and I know it's coming up very soon. But it's very far from the area. Have you thought about doing Evo this year?
I don't know.
That's a person or whatever.
It's hard, especially financially. Like, not only is the competition really tough, dude, the cost to get there is insane. You never know. Maybe I'll do really good at Combo Breaker, and maybe I'll get some help to go to Evo. We'll see how things go.
For sure, it depends on where you're at in the rankings of Combo Breaker.
Right.
I was taking down notes, and oh my god, correct me if I'm wrong. One of I think it was Sunday or Saturday, I was in pinball once. There was a commentator for Combo Breaker that came into pinball at one point. I wanted to surprise you. I tried to do my best to get that to happen.
Yes, I remember that. Well, obviously it was recently, but before we go any further, he is going to be commentating Combo Breaker coming up. Technically, it's not a publicly announced thing yet, so we won't name drop him. But yeah, my friend who is going to be commentating Combo Breaker did come in to surprise visit me. Little did he know I don't work weekends usually. But sure,
that works out. No, but what I was getting at was someone did mention that. Well, you would have to travel. I mean, you would have to travel to a different country. Not going to say much about it, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Travel to a different country to compete at that tournament. If there was
a Saudi Arabia thing.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring that up.
That's public information.
Got it.
There's upcoming qualifiers. I don't know the exact events because, they're not in the Midwest. I'm probably not going to be going. Oh, I think this is in the Midwest, but.
Depends on how, like I said, depends on how you are in the rankings.
Right. And even then, like, it's, busy life right now, working a lot. I'm recently married, just moved. So.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you. It's just, if it's not really close, I'm not really paying attention to it. But there is a tournament coming up where if you get top 8, you get flown to Saudi Arabia to play in $1 million tournament. And this is for Tekken, actually. For Tekken.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I think the tournament is Texas Showdown. I could be wrong. Like I said, if it's not local, it's not in my radar. But I think Texas Showdown, if you get top 8 in Tekken 8, you will get flown to Saudi Arabia and be in a $1 million tournament.
Wouldn't you? Because I know, you have so many trophies in your collection.
You can see a couple of them.
So much. And you've been to Evo before, and you've played so much into the different competitions all across the globe. I'm not across the globe, but probably like in America, if you will. So if you were, what drives you to like play competitively?
That's a very good question. The simple answer is, just constantly improving, constantly seeing growth feels good. What started the drive, though, honestly, was I used to think I was really good at MKX back when I wasn't. And I knew of GBS and all the weekly tournaments. And I thought to myself, I could beat these guys. I showed up my first week and absolutely destroyed. Couldn't believe people were playing at such a high level. So I could literally kept coming every single week until I got to that level. And and even all those people I came up with, they're not really playing much these days. So it's not as exciting or tempting to do it really. But I guess what's still driving me is I could still get better and I could still see growth and I could still get more results.
Where does that come from? Like, how do you practice within these games? Because I know you had to put in like tons of time and effort to practice those games.
Well,
So, what's the secret recipe, I should say?
I do have personal strats that I do to lab and stuff. But even before I get into that, honestly, the start is playing. You know, you find the game you want, you find the character you want. You start playing people. These days, it's easier because you just go online, and that kill's usually good. Play people online. See how good you're doing. If you find yourself losing a lot, which you probably will if you're just starting, watch the replays, see what's making you lose, and try to recreate those scenarios and try to practice them. Of course, before you get to that level, you have to understand what's going on. So I definitely recommend looking at guides. There's so many YouTube videos that explain frame data, that explain applying footsies. There's videos that teach you how to practice, honestly. YouTube is your best friend. Gain all the knowledge you can and try to apply it. Playing in a match kind of feels like a test when you just try practicing something for so long. Like, oh man, like this grab keeps beating me, you know? I gotta learn how to counter that grab. You go, you practice it, and now you're in that match against that character again. This is the test. Are you able to, did your practice pay off, you know?
Right.
It's kind of like that SpongeBob clip when he's like, what I learned in boating school is.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta, it's easy to get in panic mode and forget, and you gotta try to apply that knowledge. Of course, there's more than knowledge, there's fundamentals and whatnot, but all that stuff comes as you get better.
You hear that, folks that are watching the stream? Take notes from Shady. He can help you out. If let's say if we were to like look up first, like where will we go on YouTube? Where will we go for tutorials or anything like that?
I would probably, there's this YouTube channel called Core A Gaming, and a lot of his videos are actually just on the philosophy, a lot of things, and a lot of his videos are also guides and how to properly lab stuff. So it's a great way to start. You will after a few videos you start to understand fighting games more, and I guess look at them like how other players do, and then as well as his guides will help you become a better player.
For sure. So then, like, put yourself in a scenario, and then figure out to prevent it from not happening again. So that pretty much goes for everything what you're trying to do. But
right, practice makes perfect. You got to lab, you got to practice. You're not going to get better just doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. I think that was perfect of what your answer was. So, I'm trying to refer to my notes. So, like I said, you've earned your spot to the big leagues. You've been practicing. You've been using this special techniques to get to where you're at. But you had to start from somewhere, and obviously that's at the Galvin Ghost Arcade. And that name, GGA, you had to earn that name. And I know we had this conversation a little bit, but how did you earn that name?
You know, the team and like the company are different. They're not one and the same. Like if you work there, you're not automatically on the team. If you get on the team, you're not guaranteed a job, you know, etc. I had to honestly just keep proving myself. I had to just keep coming, keep getting good results. I wanted that tag, that acronym or whatever, not the acronym, but I wanted the abbreviation GGA for a long time. And I tried earning it for so long. The problem was I was doing it in a time where players weren't getting sponsored or put on the team anymore. It just wasn't happening. So despite anything I was doing, it was pointless. Enough time passed where actually kind of in the back of my mind, just like I finally understood, like it's no one's joining the team. There is no team. You know, just give up. But I was still doing my thing. I was still going to tournaments, and I was getting really good results. And right before KIT, I was just finally offered a sponsorship, and it's crazy. I was actually planning on quote unquote retire And I was going to KIT as my final tournament. After that, it was going to be just, I wasn't going to be dedicating so much time to try to get better at video games when I had so much going on in my life. But right before KIT, got offered the sponsorship, won KIT, and then I was like, man, how do we stop now? We got to keep going.
Right. There's no other path to go to. No, that's good. And you obviously had the drive for that, and you had the drive to like keep going, and that's what's really important for sure. So then I guess my next question is, how was the what did that drive lead you? Because obviously it was a good turnout. You had so many awards, so many tournaments accomplished. You recently beat a tournament. You soloed it along with GGA Jeremiah. You were pretty much soloing that tournament. I forgot which one that was.
Yeah, it was Roundhouse Tag. It was a team-based tournament. So fighting games are usually 1v1. In this case, the tournament was all teams. So like Street Fighter was a 3v3 tournament, and MK was a 2v2 tournament. GGA Jeremiah and I entered as a team. We entered as Team GGA. And I soloed the whole tournament.
Sold it, yeah.
He didn't play a single match and won the tournament, and he retired off of that.
I've never seen Jeremiah play. How good is he in MK?
He is a very good player. His strongest attribute is I genuinely believe this. When a new fighting game, usually MK or Injustice, when a new game just comes out, he is one of the best, probably in the world, at discovering what's really strong, really fast. And then as the game goes on, either he loses the drive or the interest or whatever, and not as, not grinding as much, so he isn't really as, I don't know what's the word, like, his gameplay isn't as crisp later on. But let's say Injustice 3 just came out. Oh, don't play Jeremiah. I'm telling you, don't play him.
I will note that to myself. Well, we should probably there should be tournaments going on, especially with modern games. That could be up my list sometime. I know you'll definitely kick in if we offer Street Fighter 6 to the table and then reclaim the belt. That's if you decide to retire.
If I'm feeling it.
Yeah, if you're feeling it, exactly. So take notes, folks, what he does, and Jeremiah. Just saying. But then and then going back into the Street Fighter. So no one, I obviously recently, I think it was last year, you've helped the Galloping Ghost Arcade defeat all the other arcades out there for Arcade Wars and Third Strike. So that was proof that you've actually know what Street Fighter is.
I actually forgot about that, to be honest. I honestly, especially when it comes to our arcade runs, we have some people locally that are just so good at playing all these fighting games in one-player mode, which is completely different than two-player mode. Fighting in a robot and fighting a human are two different things.
For sure.
I never consider myself a good single-player fighting. I'm not good at exploiting the AI or going for points. I just don't care.
Right.
But I thought my score got beaten in the Third Strike thing. I probably had maybe the third or fourth score for the arcade. And
you actually had first place. Second place behind you was Norbert Vale.
I had the highest score.
You did. I could pull it up right now.
In Third Strike for Arcade Wars.
Arcade Wars.
I
believe.
I think Norbert beat my score, because Norbert.
He's a good player too.
He plays that game. I know he has a score on the cabinet, on the card on top. So I would imagine he beat my score.
If I got that wrong, Norbert, my bad. I will literally pull it up. I don't look like a fool.
And just because I'm sure he did.
No, but the person that I would expect some good competition from is Pete Hahn, honestly.
Oh.
'Cause he knows a lot about fighting games for sure.
Out of like all of our like regular scoring names that we've had at the arcade, if that makes sense. When it comes to like single player fighting games, my money's gonna always be on Pete. I watched this man play what is the Japanese version called? Street Fighter 2 X or whatever, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the big blue Street Fighter 2 we have. I was watching him just destroy these computers with Zangief. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, look at Norbert almost doubled my score.
Yeah.
And Chloe got third. Shout out to Chloe.
No, and I especially for arcades, you know, that's Pete's thing. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Hater Shack, Steven, Damien Cordova in the stream chat. Oh, and here goes Norbert.
I don't see the chat.
Oh, you don't see
I
the
do
chat?
now. I was in a private chat.
Yeah, there they are. Shady, everyone's rooting you on. Everyone's saying what's up, Shady. Good to see you. But yeah, it's crazy how things been. You know, as time goes on, there's new games coming out, and then there was a new game that's gonna be released not too long ago. I don't know if it's KO. No, it's not KOF. What was that game called? Whatever comes to my mind, I'll bring it up. But no, but like I said, new games coming out. FGC, they're always ready. But MVC, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't know if you're obviously familiar with MVC 3. All like literally those games are like they're still into the FGC big events. So have you ever played MVC 3?
I've definitely played it. I've played it a bunch. Was I ever good at it? Absolutely not. I was playing it before I really knew what I was doing in fighting games, so I was just, you know, shooting fireballs, big beams, haha, having fun. That game is hard. If you play it at a high level, and these dudes, like you mentioned, it's still at tournaments. A lot of these guys have never stopped playing, so good luck trying to get good at it now. I've played it. I love it. My favorite thing about it, honestly, is to watch it. Being at a tournament like Combo Breaker, sitting in the crowd when they got Marvel 3 on the big stage and they're freaking wiping out whole teams at one combo, it's hype, dude. It's sick.
For sure. No, it is hype. And like I said, new modern fighting games are taking over, starting with MK1, going back to Mortal Kombat 1. Last Bloody Wars event was new MK1. And surprise, surprise, that person showed up and destroyed everyone. Actually, as a matter of fact, Chris Plackey gave you your first loss in MK1. So
yeah. He reset the bracket on me, but then I won immediately after.
For sure. How would you say, going back to you and Plackey, because I know the last time you've played against Plackey was that tag team match against him. So what would be the difference between you versus Plackey at that tournament versus you versus Plackey in Bloody Wars?
Are you talking about when we played at Roundhouse Tag compared to Bloody Wars? Well, in Bloody Wars, and I don't mean this like in a mean way in any way, but like genuinely, his and I also want to clarify, he could totally beat me. Like we played the game numerous times together at any tournament. He could beat me. His strongest chance to beat me, I'm talking about like place over me in a tournament, would have been Bloody Wars. Reason being is I'm not a stick player. I'm a controller player. And so is he, but he's one of the arcade guys, you know? Like he got scores and he actually has cabinets. I think it's an MK4 cabinet. This guy's got experience on that layout. I freaking was practicing for 2 days before the tournament. Like I was like, man, I gotta where's my block? But you know, I put in some practice and I figured it out.
Who would you main in that tournament? Not for Bloody Wars, but for the Texas Tag one.
The Texas Tag one.
That's at Texas. Oh my god.
Bringing the wrestling. I've been playing Peacemaker since he came out. I haven't stopped playing him.
For sure. And I know before Peacemaker, I noticed before Peacemaker, you were playing Liu Kang.
Yes.
What was the difference between you playing Peacemaker and you playing Liu Kang? Was it better or?
It's tough to say because Liu Kang is also like they're both really, really good characters.
Yeah.
They're both really strong. They both have really good zoning, and they both have really good buttons. Liu Kang has better buttons, but Peacemaker has better zoning. So with Peacemaker, you're gonna have better projectiles. You're gonna stay away better, and you have force field, so you could negate a lot of projectiles. His buttons are so fast. He has a 6-frame standing one, which is the fastest one in the game, and I genuinely missed that button. And but
I was gonna say, wouldn't that be a challenge for you for sure?
Which part?
No,
characters or
no, but because you said his buttons were fast, so just you trying to keep up with that is probably difficult for you.
Like keep up with the character?
Yeah.
Like me keeping up with Liu Kang?
Mhm.
Like as if he's like. So you're saying like if he was moving too fast for me?
Yeah.
That's not an issue. That's not what I was implying. It's not even something that's like so visually noticeable. Like if the characters are moving on the screen, you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, he's much faster. That number I gave out when I said his standing one is 6 frames.
Right.
All the other standing ones are 7 frames. I'm talking about 1 frame difference, 1/60th of a second. That's not even noticeable to the naked eye. But when you're playing, a move coming out 1 frame faster could make the world of a difference, you know. It wasn't too fast for me, but the speed of that move helped. It makes it actually easier. You can punish more stuff that you normally can't.
Right. I did notice a question from the comment that was really.
Who's got a question?
That was from King Blackman, believe it or not. What will Shady do once Ignite stops FGC meetups?
Well, that's a great question because they've already stopped.
So what's the plan?
What have I been doing? I've just been chilling at home, playing online, and making people rage quit. There's no Well, I do have a genuine answer to that. Ignite was running FGC meetups in collaboration with Low Kick Esports, which is actually my former sponsor, and I love Low Kicks. And I know, and I hear that Ignite is going to continue to do tournaments just on their own, which is great. And I'll probably show up sometimes, but I'm probably gonna just go wherever Low Kick ends up. The organization Low Kick, I know they're not done running tournaments. They're looking for a new venue. Once they find a venue, they'll probably have tournaments on a bi-weekly basis, and that's where I'll be going. It's just in the meantime, just chilling, playing, waiting for Combo Breaker.
Yeah, obviously you've been practicing for Combo Breaker. What's that been looking like? Because I know, for Bloody Wars, it was like a 2-day practice type of thing. I'm like, oh, you got to practice. I haven't been practicing. You got to prepare for Chris or whoever's going to step up.
Yeah, but I knew it was just Chris.
Sure. Aiden was good too. You can't ignore Aiden.
I don't think we played.
Huh?
I don't think we played.
No,
was Aiden the younger gentleman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching him and I'm being impressed for sure.
He was impressive in that tournament. But then because the Combo Breaker is coming up, and so the difference, because I know it's a huge difference with you practicing versus Bloody Wars with Combo Breaker. But I'm pretty sure for practicing for Combo Breaker is a lot more effective and a lot more time consuming for sure if you were to practice Combo Breaker. So what's that been looking like, and how confident are you with Combo Breaker and MK1?
So it's definitely more time consuming, but that's also because of how much time I have leading up to the event. I'm not playing 6-7 hours a day, but for the past few weeks and for the next couple weeks leading up to it, I've only been playing Street Fighter and MK, no other video game, only playing them. I've made some adjustments to my team. I changed. I was playing Peacemaker Striker. Now I'm playing Peacemaker Chameleon. I think she's better than Striker and offers a lot more to Peacemaker. So I'm hoping to get that team Combo Breaker ready. So I'm not in there. Muscle memory has me doing Striker stuff on accident. I just want to I'm making sure I'm playing it a lot so that Chameleon is ingrained in my brain, and I don't accidentally do striker stuff at Combo Breaker. I just want to make sure I'm good. So I've been playing nonstop. Street Fighter, I've been playing it a bunch, and I've been practicing Ken because that's my only character. But Akuma's release will tell me who I'm using, and that's 2 days before Combo Breaker. So I'd have 2 days to practice, kind of like Bloody Wars. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe it's a sign.
I'm seeing the
Maybe 2
comparison.
days practice is the magic number.
I feel better now. That I see the comparison. Is it just you from Team GGA that's going to be at Combo Breaker, or what we're looking at? Jeremiah's coming back. Is McCuddy coming back? What are we looking at?
At Combo Breaker, it'll just be me. So registration's already over, and I almost didn't make it. I signed up on the last day.
Oh man.
So I yeah, just me. I would have loved to see Jeremiah and McCuddy there, but they're just not playing it that much right now, so there's no point. If the last time Tommy was at Combo Breaker was, I want to say 2018, and usually Combo Breaker just does whatever the newest NetherRealm Studios game is, whether it's Injustice 2, MK11, whatever the newest one is, that's usually the game being ran there. For whatever reason one year, they're like, we're doing it not only Injustice 2, we're also doing MKX, which was the last game, and we're doing MK9. So even though it's been years, all the Team GGA guys came out the woodworks for MK9. And Tommy got 3rd place at Combo Breaker 2018 for MK9, which is an amazing place.
3rd place. Wow. Yeah. That's out of how many people do you remember?
I don't remember the number. The number won't be as, like, if you look at that year's MK9 entrance compared to that year's Injustice 2 entrance, it won't be as impressive. But keep in mind that Injustice 2 was on its 2nd year, MK9 was on its freaking 7th year.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that many people want to. Just same with the Marvel. You're not gonna beat these guys who haven't stopped playing, and people know that.
I'm already saying Norbert saying he's gonna do main Akuma for Street Fighter 6. You've already gotten people motivated to use Akuma, so
dude, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. I can't wait to play that game. I actually bought the disc version of Street Fighter 6 not too long ago, so I'll definitely be playing that game.
How's that Tekken 8 copy doing? I sold you.
Oh, it's pretty good. No,
you've been playing it?
I have. I'm pretty impressed, not gonna lie. But no, I mean, going back into the modern games, and to those that didn't know, GGA Shady actually, I actually bought a cabinet off of him.
Right.
Yeah, you remember that. Foldable. It's a foldable one. Yeah. Who is it?
Shagrat's in the chat.
Chris Blackie. Uh-oh. He's in there.
What up, Leon? I bet that's a Resident Evil reference.
Is it?
I mean, I know he loves that game, and I don't know any other Leons.
But no, I've actually placed 2 consoles in there. I've placed a PS5 in there, and I've also placed my my customized PC in there. So nice. I'm building up.
And you got all hooked up?
Yep, I've got a monitor that's. What's up?
I was gonna say I was gonna ask. You put the USB in the computer, and you've used the stick and buttons. Like everything's good.
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm able to input my controls and everything.
That's awesome.
Love to I'm actually gonna probably sometime soon. I'm probably thinking about getting a new what's it called? A new board for like a control panel. Probably like an MK layout. Probably gonna mix and match here and there. Probably put some like arcade stuff on it.
It's yours. You can do whatever you want. If you want my advice, it sounds like you want to play multiple games on there, right? You don't want to be playing MK. MK layout is only good for MK. Street Fighter layout, which is the 6 or 8 buttons, 4 in a row, and then 4 under them, that can be played on any game, even MK. But the MK layout, you can't play Street Fighter on that. Good luck. Yeah. I would recommend you do what you want. But yeah, I would do Street Fighter layout.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that because like I'm more of a Mortal Kombat type of guy than Street Fighter. But no, I that's why I have the 8-button layout for sure. That's why if I wanted to play Street Fighter, I guess for Street Fighter. So no, for sure. And then it got the start buttons on there. It's got the ghost.
Yeah,
logo.
the ghost logo. That's the best touch.
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
That's the best layout on top of. Chris Blackie even confirmed me that's the best layout on top.
See? And he's an empty player.
For sure. Oh yeah, I believe that. Does he play his games on an MK layout? Who knows?
He
probably
plays the arcade games on MK layout, of course, but the modern MKs he uses controller.
Oh, he does controller too. That's
Mhm.
I'm starting to. You can still play. You probably can. I know that. Yeah, you can still play your fighting sticks into the modern games for sure. I think that's still legal.
It depends on the brand and whatnot, but in most cases, yeah. Like if you have a PS4 fight stick, it'll work on most cases will work on your PS5 fighting games. But it's weird. It'll only work on your fighting games. Like a PS4 stick will work on any game, but it's made for whatever. On PS5, it only works on fighting games. Which that's all you need it for, really.
I've heard that like people are like skeptical with hitboxes because I know they have like a little officiation going on with that. Like they've been, you've been explaining that a little bit to me about where because it's just buttons and there's no joystick or anything like that. It's a hitbox. So what would be why would people I mean for everyone that's watching, why would hitbox be if it is a no-go, why would it be?
Wait, what if it's a no-go?
Yeah, well, like if it's not a recommended stick.
It's that's not exactly the case. So you have your three main options. You have controller, you have fight stick, and you have hitbox. And amongst those three, it's just preference, right? There are pros and cons to all three. Hitbox, technically, like at a statistical level or an execution level, it is the best. Like you're able to execute things much faster than you could on a stick or even a controller. And it could also even allow you to do things in some games that you couldn't do on a stick. So new games have prevented this because this is now a known issue and they're not, it's programmed to prevent this. But you could use a hitbox on an old game and do stuff you shouldn't be able to do. And this probably isn't 100% an accurate example, but this is the type of thing that would happen. Somebody would take a hitbox, go play like Street Fighter 2 with it. And I don't know if you know how Guile works. He's a charge character. So to do his fireball, you have to hold back for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of frames. And then his forward punch, that's how you do fireball. Well, with the hitbox, because the game, designed back in 91, and it was only joysticks at the time. They didn't know, what would happen if you press forward and back at the same time? Well, then here's people on hitboxes. They're walking forward and they're charging the sonic boom, and that's like
right. That's a red
like
flag.
what?
Yeah.
But now there's to alleviate that. If it's an old game, you have to have something programmed on your hitbox that prevents that. If you're holding left and right at the same time, it has to equal neutral. And if you're holding down and up at the same time, it has to equal up. That's like the rules. New games, it's not really an issue because it's just it's modern games, modern technology. They know about it. You can't do that. Even if you are pressing them at the same time, the game doesn't let you do that. Because, Street Fighter 6 made in 2023 as opposed to Street Fighter 2 made in 91. So
Sure.
Hitbox, though, it is the best. Like execution, it's just taking out all the potential like cheating stuff. And we're just playing on a fair ground. It's best. Like it takes time to get used to, and your fingers will hurt if you're not ready for it. But you will be able to do supers and shoryukens faster than anybody else. It's pretty crazy.
No, wow, I didn't even notice that. It's crazy. I've never used a hitbox before.
I have one I just bought. I haven't even used it yet.
Show
It's
it.
like $300 for this thing. Look how tiny it is.
Oh my god. What?
Let me make a comparison.
Yeah. Go ahead. while Shady's doing that, to answer Norbert's let's go to Hater Shack real quick. Hater Shack, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, I have a Switch version of MK1. I've actually got a PS5, but if I was playing in Switch, if I had to play Switch in MK1, that would not be good. I wouldn't like that so much. Shady's back. Go ahead.
So this is commonly what you see if someone's a stick player. This is for PS4, wire inside, literally Street Fighter layout on a piece of device you could fit in your lap, and you can play like that. Look how big this thing is. Look at my hitbox. This is crazy.
Right.
It's like a 16th of the size.
What's the price difference?
They're both 200 plus. So
Sure. Oh my god.
yeah, I paid the hitbox. I paid a little too much for because to get PS5 compatibility at the time, it costed more, and I didn't want to wait, so I just bought it. And twice.
So it sounds like it's playing in a huge favor, and it's pretty good when it comes to charge ups and all that good stuff for Street Fighter. It sounds like, and I know to go back into what Hater Shack was saying, MK11, even in MK Mortal Kombat in general, they're trying to like put that game into Nintendo Switch. I have the game myself.
On Switch?
Switch.
No, so you have MK11 on Switch?
Yeah.
I do too.
We're guilty of charge.
Price for it. In my defense, the MK11 port on Switch isn't as bad as the MK1 port on Switch. That game really should not be on Switch. Like it's a business.
Right.
It's insulting that they sold that to people for $60. But besides that, I bought MK11 on Switch. My mindset was, man, the new MK, I want to be as good as I could be. I could literally crack this on the go. But it played like shit.
Nope.
So.
He's like, nope. It's the same way with they did the same thing with MK1 now.
Yeah, no, they MK11 and MK1 both made it to Switch. MK11 is, in hindsight, I look at MK1, I was like, man, MK11 probably wasn't that bad. But MK1 on the Switch, it's abysmal.
For sure. It is. No, I mean, now I've seen that we've covered a lot about Mortal Kombat and everything. I want to get to like specifically with Bloody Wars, because as everyone knows, June 23rd is Super Dragon Ball Z. First off, I know you're very familiar with the Dragon Ball series when you're watching it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a beginner at this. Before I've released Dragon Ball, I have never watched an episode in my life. So
That explains a lot.
So you have experience in watching anime, especially for Dragon Ball. What do you want to say about Dragon Ball?
What do I want to say about? Say it again. Cut off.
Yeah, what do you want to say about Dragon Ball? Like, how good is it? Like, I know
as a franchise, it's
yeah,
probably my favorite piece of media. Like I watched the show. I watched the show since I was a kid, and I loved it. And I've never been much of like a manga reader, but like I'm so excited and like can't wait for the new show or whatever to come out. So I've been reading the manga just to get more content. I watched every show, every episode, watched the movies, everything. It's a big part of my life. I love it.
When you say umaga, this is probably for a beginner's question. What define umaga for us?
Define what a manga is. Japanese comics.
Okay.
Most animes that you see start as manga or vice versa. You know, it's a show, then a manga or whatever. But yeah, Japanese comics.
So, because I know they've released like different shows and different series of the whole thing in general. You probably would have to. It'll probably take you like, based off of what I've seen, it would probably take you like at least 2 or 3 months to get caught up on everything. Is that the case, or is there more?
I mean, you don't have to watch everything though. You know, like you really like. there's a lot of that stuff is just extra for the fans, right? Like you've watched so much of it, you want more. Here's a movie where they just fight some random bad guy and blah blah blah. If you want to watch the show, just go. You don't have to. The first show is Dragon Ball, which I love and it's great. But if you want to get into Dragon Ball Z and you want to understand what Dragon Ball Z is about, just go put on Dragon Ball Z episode 1. Start from there. It all makes sense. If you want to consume a lot of the show Dragon Ball Z in a shorter format and more parody based, but there's this YouTube channel called Team 4-Star. They essentially made like a parody of Dragon Ball Z. They go all the way up until the end of the Cell Saga, and though it is a parody, it kind of just seems like it's its own dub. Like it's really, really good. And some jokes you could tell like, oh, this is literally like old school YouTube humor. But they go out of the way to like still respect the franchise and the content. And they deliver the package in their own way. And it's still really good. As you know, and instead of watching hundreds and hundreds of episodes, I think probably from the first episode to Cell, probably 50 episodes. And it's like 10, 15, 20 minutes each. So if you're just trying to watch some Dragon Ball and laugh at the same time because it's hilarious, watch Team 4-Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Yes, Dragon Ball Z Kai is a shortened form of the series, but it's also a different dub and also cut a lot of content you didn't want cut. So you take that as you will.
Sounds like Steven Lucas is a Dragon Ball Z fan himself. How, because the main character is Goku, obviously. If I would have heard about him, he's probably the main character. There was a conversation that I had within the arcade at one point where it's like his superpowers, how many superpowers does he have? It takes like a book. You have to have a book.
I mean,
how many powers does he have?
Yeah, that sounds like you're looking at his wiki page and they're listing every single thing that he's probably ever done. Like there's this episode, like this legitimately happened. He came back to planet Earth. No, I'm not giving any context. He, like his friend Krillin was about to tell him everything that had just happened. And instead of letting him, waste time and share all that, he just put his hand on his head, read his mind, and knew everything that happened. And it's like, holy crap, he could do what now? Has he ever done it again since? No, he hasn't. And there's been 1,000 episodes since. It doesn't matter. So you look at whatever page, it doesn't matter. The dude's super strong, super fast. His hair changes colors when he gets more powerful, and he shoots beams. Well, that's all you need to know.
What color is the strongest out of all?
Okay, so the strongest Super Saiyan form is, and these names are beyond silly. The most powerful Super Saiyan form is Super Saiyan Blue, which is like the nickname. The actual name of the form is Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. That's serious.
Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan.
That is the strongest Super Saiyan form, but Goku has gotten a new form that's not Saiyan related. It's more, I guess, like divine power, and now it's he has Ultra Instinct, and that seems to be the most powerful form right now.
I've heard about Ultra Instinct. I've heard about the stuff that goes into Dragon Ball, and the game, the main characters for that game are on the Super Dragon Ball Z game that were released.
Oh yeah, no, it's got an amazing roster on that game
For sure. I'm getting familiar with Frieza a little bit. I think that's his name.
Yep.
Okay. There's another one, Vegeta.
Who?
Vegeta, right?
Vegeta, yes. He's one of the good guys, but he actually started off as a bad guy. But like in that game, at that point in time, he's a good guy. He's like Ryu and Ken, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Goku, Vegeta, like those.
Okay. I see. Okay, so it's like a head-to-head type of thing.
Head-to-head partners at the same time, like sure. they're the same team, but they have a rivalry going on, and they're always fighting.
Well, that sounds awesome. but then there's other characters I had in mind. So what would, because I've watched the Monday Mystery stream when they released that game, and by the way, great timing. R.I.P. Akira. And for some reason, Goku from that game is different from all the other characters. Is that the case, or am I?
What do you mean?
Like, I think there was a part in the Monday Mystery where it's like, if you select Goku as a character in the game, I think there's something different than that. Am I missing anything, or is that how it is?
Let me look at. I don't think there's anything different. Like Goku is just Goku, as far as I know.
Okay.
But if I look at the roster,
Because if I were to have Goku as an option for character for Bloody Wars, I gotta understand what he is and if there's sort of an advantage or any character for that matter.
Goku's pretty good at that game. If you're trying to get an advantage in that game, there's one
Don't
character
spill
that's
the tea.
don't feel it. All right, got you.
Go ahead.
They should figure it out for themselves, actually.
For sure. Because they have to get some contestants. So one of our contenders actually bought a PS2 when they found out that Super Dragon Ball Z was going to be the next game. They literally bought the whole console, the whole
And
game.
the game. That's awesome.
Yeah. So people are all up for that tournament.
I love the dedication. I haven't played it once since.
Yeah. It's pretty insane. The prize that we have here goes a long way. But there are some characters that you can't get access to compared to the arcade. And I know that's there's
unlockables in the console version. Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually might. I could be wrong. They might be in the arcade version. Just gotta unlock them. I could be wrong. I mean, that's a pretty rare game, so I don't know.
It is, but I know. Is it? I'm trying to use the right words here. Is the arcade version Dragon Ball? Because I'm trying to get. I don't know if trying to like understand the game. Is it run off of a board or is it a PC game in there for the arcade version?
Like it's a board for sure. I've seen it.
I'm trying to think if there's any unlockables from a arcade board or if you can get access from that from a board. I don't know if you can.
Like, are there any arcade games with unlockable characters?
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Okay.
That's definitely a thing. That was which was actually a smart design choice from Capcom. Like the game already, like at the start, has a lot of characters. There's a lot more you could unlock. You put that game in an arcade back when it came out. People come, they play it, they try all those characters, they come back. Where do these other 4 characters come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God,
right.
there's Wolverine, there's blah blah blah. The Akuma's in this. I think that was genius to put unlockable characters in the game. It keeps it going for so long.
Yeah, for sure. So then like obviously that's pretty interesting. I think there's like, people would put in some, I don't know, like put in up, down, left, right stuff in some arcade games, and then they would unlock stuff.
Right.
Like there's stuff out there leaked, obviously, in the website. This stuff has been exposed for whatever. So I think that's pretty cool that stuff does happen. It's like pretty unique in today's world. But like I said, going back into the game for Bloody Wars, what are your thoughts on the roster lineup? Because we've got different people from round 1 and different people from Logan's. We even got Fowler participating as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then some from the experienced roster, Aiden and Damien, everyone is joining. So I think it might be early to call, but if you were to like determine or predict who would walk out there as their first place winner, who would it be?
Who bought the console and the game?
It was this kid from Logan's.
It wasn't Aiden or
No, not Aiden. No, it was It was someone from Logan's. They were reaching out to me personally. But if you're referring to that guy, I mean that's for sure. That's a hardcore dedication right there.
If you were gonna, well, I don't know who that is, so I'm not gonna say him. If you told me that it was Aiden who bought the console, I would have picked him. Since it isn't, I'm gonna just go with my boy Fowler.
He's have experience on arcade games.
For sure. He's old school.
So, as everyone knows, as some people know, after Super Dragon Ball Z, you've got a head-to-head match against whoever wins that Super Dragon Ball Z event. During that event, actually, you're actually going to be commentating for this upcoming event. What could we expect from the sidelines? Like, how familiar are you with the game?
I am actually not that familiar with it. It was like until we finally put it on the floor. It was like the one Dragon Ball Z game. I was like, man, how have I never played that? I've got to play it. And, I could have through other means, but I knew it would eventually be at the arcade. So I waited for that. And I didn't get to play it until that Monday Mystery. And that was my first time playing. I had a good time. I had a lot of fun.
You looked pretty good in it. You looked really good in it. No, you did.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I similar to Jeremiah, I know how to find something that's strong immediately and just use it. But I haven't had time to go down and play the game more. I would like to. I want to actually learn that game and play it. Not even for the tournament, just for my own enjoyment. But as of right now, I don't know much. I know you could do some insane combos. That's about it.
For sure. But like I said, we're very close to the event, so you're picking either Aiden or Fowler to go to win that tournament. And
for sure,
like I said, after that tournament, then you got that contendership for the undisputed Bloody Wars Championship. And by the way, for the record, for everyone that's watching, it is a beautiful belt that's going to be presented in the pre-show. Catch the pre-show, and if you want that belt, you got to get through Shady. He's not leaving without fierce competition, let me tell you. Is there anything that you want to say to anyone that's participating in Super Dragon Ball, or is there anything you want to say to the regulars at Galloping Ghosts?
For the people in the tournament, so good luck, have fun. So I say to everyone before every tournament. For the regulars at the arcade, just keep coming. You guys make it what it is. Thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure, Shady. Well, I mean, I think this is a good place to wrap up things, and I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you coming in here for the podcast, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck for Combo Breaker.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll be at Evo, or you'll be at.
Never know. Who knows?
Who knows, right? But you'll be making history. Thanks, Shady, for tuning in, man.
Hold on. There's I guess another question.
Go ahead.
I don't know about that question actually.
What is it? If you win Gamer of the Year, which game? If you win Game of the Year, which game you putting into the floor, and which game would you choose for Game 1000? Probably not going to spoil everything off the bat, but if you were to pick Gamer of the Year, what would it be?
If I were to pick the Gamer of the Year?
No, if you were picked as the Gamer of the Year.
Which would never happen.
Oh, who knows?
I don't do anything at the I literally never do anything that would attribute to winning that award. Like the stuff I do is FGC related. It's not at the arcade, and Bloody Wars also wasn't like a GGA thing. So, but if hypothetically, if I won Game of the Year, which game would I put on the floor? Damn, put on the spot.
Injustice 3.
If I were to look, if I were to maintain the rules, like from console cabinets or whatnot, I would probably say the Street Fighter 6 arcade machine.
Sure, yeah.
Easy pick. The Japanese arcade machine would need 2 boards and the server working or whatever. And game for 1,000, I'm wearing the shirt. That'd be cool.
Oh, well, okay.
But you know, it'll take God knows how long.
It all takes to the anniversary week. You got to tune in to find out the anniversary week for sure. Maybe. Like I said, Shady, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you. I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Same to you, man.
Thanks. Like I said, folks, to those that are tuning in into the I've already got people voting for Super or Dark Presence. I don't know. I don't know what's in store for Game 1000. If I were to choose, what would be Game 1000? Power Stone 2. Remember that. But yeah, like I said, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. And that was a pretty darn good episode for episode number 4 into the Bloodcast. We will see you guys next week of episode number 5. And who's my next guest for the next week's podcast? I don't know. It's probably going to be an intense one if you ask me. Until next week, folks, this is JP Pitts, your host of the Bloody Wars Tournament. For more information on how you can sign up today, just visit www.bloody-wars-tournament.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this stream, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.